Luka,
The biggest trade
the
of all
biggest
time.
trade of possibly all time. And I know I saw there's a video of training video of Luka that I saw that came out. I thought this was pretty dope. Check this out. Look at Luka. Luka can
Boy,
move
get
though.
it. Yeah, he can get
Yeah,
it, boy.
look, I mean, he
Hey,
might be slow, but Luka is
parkour,
moving, doggy. Look at
parkour.
I know I can't do that shit. Look at
Ugh.
that.
Oh,
Ugh.
I definitely can't do that.
Stuck the landing. But yeah, no, Luka to the Lakers, another big trade that we talked about, kind of shook the world a couple days ago. Um, the game has been announced where Luka's going to play, and it's looking like all signs are him pointing to playing this Saturday. Who did they play Saturday? I forgot. The Pacers. Home for the Pacers are on a homestand right now, but all signs point to him playing on this Saturday. He's coming off a calf injury, and he did practice with the team today, playing around with the guys, doing half court shots. Man, I mean, gave up Anthony Davis. Obviously, a lot has come out since the trade about how Dallas felt about Luka, supposedly, whether it's true or is not. They're prioritizing defense, and he obviously that's not one of Luka's strongest suits, playing defense. But he'll give you 35, 10, and 10, every night. So, what do you feel like? There's been the conversation about Bron saying that he's always wanted to play with Luka. How do you think this new Lakers look? I mean, they got the future, right? Bron ain't gonna play forever. We all know that, even though Bron is amazing, right? But we know Bron ain't gonna play forever. But we talked earlier today on the phone about the NBA, and there's no stars no more.
Yeah.
And you look at all the stars that we would consider elite stars. Is Luka number one?
No.
Under 28, I guess. Like, who's a
Yeah.
bigger star than Luka under? How you get under 30?
It means stars like fandom, like he's
N-
he's the
uh,
face of it.
I want to say who could be the face of the NBA. I
I
mean,
mean,
Giannis has got to be what, close to 30, I think.
yeah, I think you got some young guys up and coming. SGA is making a real big stance year in and
Yeah,
year
but
out at
he's stuck in
OKC,
OKC,
just
man.
in a bad market.
He's just in a bad market.
But I mean, I think if he continue to do what he's going to do, they start getting them prime time games like they force games all the time, and people are seeing him all the time. Like I'm
Yeah,
hearing young kids want an SGA jersey now. So
but they're not marketing him. You don't see
right.
him on,
So he has a
you
few
know.
commercials, but I think it's going to end up happening that way because they're looking for that face. We always wanted. It looked like we wanted it to be Zion Williamson. We know that's fallen off. We
Yeah,
wanted John Morant, although John Morant is a great player. His
he
character
messed
issues
up.
off the
Yeah,
field is feel
he
like they're
messed up.
pushing off that. So then they
Yeah,
were trying to push Anthony Davis, who's in Minnesota, and I don't know if what type of
Anthony
role he needs to.
Edwards.
I'm sorry, I said Anthony Davis. I apologize.
Yeah,
Anthony Edwards up in Minnesota. I think that was the baby Jordan we talked about all last year. But
yeah,
it seems like that little trend and that little fire behind him kind of faded a little bit. So
because they're not winning.
right. So to your point, it's kind of like, well, who's going to be the starter step up? You put Luca in an LA uniform, man. I mean, it just goes down a line with great players
Showtime,
that's played for the Lakers. We can go all the way back to Kareem, to Wilt, to
Magic. Yeah.
Magic, to Shaq, Kobe, LeBron.
Ew, Luka and Bronny James gonna be running. Luka and Bronny, they gonna be. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
this is gonna be we made history, right? So we made history with the first son and father duo in the NBA
Yeah,
to play a game.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
also gonna make history for the son and father to retire at the same time. We
Nah,
ain't
nah,
we ain't
nah.
see that happen.
Mm.
So when LeBron retire,
You better
so is
put some
LeBron
respect on
Jr.
Bronny
going to
name.
retire or get retired.
Bronny made his first career three. You better put some respect on that.
Man, if LeBron don't go ahead back and start worrying about the James legacy by one of them things that he's doing off the court.
Yeah. Now you kind of mentioned it already. I got a list, right? Top 10. Oh man, I joined on
Oh yeah, number
can't
one.
zoom that. Yeah, I guess we could work with it. Top 10 shocking trades, right? They put Luka one, and I was looking at this. They got Babe. This is all sports too.
Mhm.
You can see the screenshot from the phone. Should have cropped that, but it is what it is. Babe Ruth from Boston to New York. Gretzky, Wilt to Philly. I remember that Herschel Walker trade.
That was a crazy trade.
That was a crazy trade for Herschel. Um, and then Kevin Garnett. I don't
Yeah,
know if that was so crazy to
it
me.
wasn't crazy. It was just a big trade.
It was just a big trade. I think Shaq to Miami was just a big trade. I think Alex Rodriguez to the Yankees was pretty big.
Yeah.
Um, Randy Moss to the Patriots was semi decent. And then I think a huge trade was when Ken Griffey left Seattle because he was
Mhm.
in Seattle for well over a decade.
Yeah.
What else I think is missing from here is
AI.
yeah, but AI he was at the end though. He
Think
had
so.
no juice left.
AI to the Denver Nuggets. He had like three
Yeah,
good years there with the Denver Nuggets, cooking, shaking, and baking,
yeah, he was
frying
cooked.
them nuggets up over there in Denver.
He was cooked. He was cooked. I was trying to find some more. I thought I mean they forgot. No, was that a free agent Montana to Chiefs?
That was a free agent.
Yeah, it was a free agent move, right? Yeah, I get.
I mean, maybe it was the Brett Favre to Minnesota was a big one. That was a surprising one because he went to Minnesota.
Yeah, that was a trade. That was a trade. Um, I still can't get over the trade. You remember Mike Dicker traded his whole draft
Oh, for Ricky,
for Ricky?
that was insane.
That was insane,
That
bro.
was insane.
Yeah, he traded his whole draft, it's like 6 picks.
I still remember the cover of Sports Illustrated with him in that dress, married up with Mike Dicker. You
Yeah,
remember that?
yeah,
They had
crazy.
Ricky in a dress, my guy in a wedding dress.
Yeah. Well, you know Ricky's strange brother. Ricky's a strange brother. I mean, but I mean, and this is shocking, right? It was a shock. Nobody saw this coming.
Nobody knew.
Nobody knew. I mean, especially if he wins a chip, right? Because everybody on that list damn near won a chip with that next team, right? Except
Well,
for uh
everybody won a chip.
Wilt. Did Wilt win a chip with us? No, right? That was
Uh,
Malone. That was Moses, right? 83 when the Sixers won.
yeah, 83. Hmm.
Yeah, he
What
did.
wasn't
And
on what wasn't on our team now?
he wasn't. Yeah, he was gone. He was the Lakers.
Hmm.
Yeah, the Vikings never won. And Randy and Griffey didn't won. So out of the 10, well, if you include Luka, half of them won, right? Babe won, Gretzky won, Garnett won, Shaq won, Rodriguez won, and that was it. And I think those trades make that impact even more. Like I think Griffey's too low for me. I don't think Randy to the Patriots was not as big as their top 10 trades of all time. I don't know.
Yeah, I got to go back to that. I think it was more of a shocking one because it was more about that team because they were already doing what they were doing, and then
Yeah.
they added Randy Moss to the Tom Brady show with who was it, Danny Amendola at the time, Julian
Yep.
Edelman, whatever it
Hmm.
was, and you added that with that defense, it was like lights out, and they showed it. They went what
Yeah, they showed it. They went
15 and
undefeated.
one, yeah, undefeated and lost.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I thought that Griffey one I think should be a little bit higher for me. Because I don't remember Herschel doing nothing. Was Herschel crazy in Dallas?
Herschel was going ham in that trade. That's why that was such a big trade.
Was
Herschel was
he?
going crazy. Yeah, we probably can look up those Herschel stats that last year.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as the trade, I think obviously it's surprising. I think it's a pretty fair deal. To be honest with you, I think there's some behind the scenes issues with Luca. We can
For
go
sure.
back to last year. I remember watching live. I wish you had that video up when you can see Mike Finley, who was the VP or GM,
Hmm.
walking in after they won the Western Conference Finals and
Oh, and he
taking a
took the
beer.
beer.
That was a huge sign, man. I know I talked about it then,
Yeah.
and it's always about the small things that people may not see. That was a big highlight for me that let me know a little bit more about Luca, and that told me that to me. I don't know this for sure. This is by observation that Luca has an issue. I'm not sure if how much he drinks or what he drinks, but there's a drinking issue when a GM comes in, takes a beer out your hand, didn't say nothing to you, didn't even look at you, while your hand is still cupped up with the beer like it's still there. You're like, that tells me that there's a behind the scene issues, and then it just maturates over to this year where you're injury prone. You don't come into camp on in shape. You're
He don't look fat
30 to 40 pounds over your weight limit, right? Like he came in, they said he was like
this
270.
year
Yeah, 270 coming into camp when he's
because I
only coming in
remember
at 230.
the finals run. He was in shape.
What do you mean when they got swept?
They made it to
That
the
was that
finals,
was
so
last year with the
that was
beard.
last year.
That
Yeah,
was last year.
when they
Oh,
places he was in shape. I mean, he's not fat. He's not twitchy.
you talking
He's
about
not
a
a
dad? You talking
fast
about
twitch
ultimate
guy.
dad bod?
Yeah, that what dad body give you 40, 10, and 10,
Right. So
bro.
but I think that's where it's more shocking that okay, Dallas is willing to risk all that to kind of one, they save a lot of money, right? Because they're saying, well, we're not paying them 70 million a year. They don't want to super max him.
Yeah,
And he loses the money because he lost by almost 116 million with this trade because he cannot get super max. So that's a big loss for Luca.
it's even more. Remember the fucking
Plus the
income
taxes.
tax.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plus the
in
taxes.
LA is
Yep.
stupid.
Yep. So he
They
loses
screwed. They actually
and
screwed him.
and don't forget he just bought a $13 million home there in Dallas this year. So he just closed on it not too long ago. So there's a hopefully he can keep that. Well, he'll keep that house and I don't know whatever his connection with Dallas is. But there was a big impact financially for Luca. But sometimes you put things on your own shoulder. And I'm sure Dallas did not want to have to trade a player like that. But I think there's writing on the wall that showed me more that they're saying, listen, we only want Anthony Davis. We're only going to deal with you Lakers and shipping him out.
Yeah,
And I think Lakers do that. They get a great player like Luca for a cheaper price, right? They don't have to pay him the super max. You obviously you move forward to the future with Luca, right? So you don't have to worry about when
yeah.
LeBron,
You have your future.
you
Yeah,
have your future.
yeah.
You can kind of see what you guys are going to do these next year or two, depending on when LeBron. I don't know how far you're going to go. You're not a championship team with them. But I think Dallas is actually getting prepared for now. You got three good bigs there. You got Kyrie Irving. You still got Dinwiddie. You got a couple other wing players that are big time players. Some depth on the bench. I think Dallas has probably moved up to closer to OKC in the Western Conference than we realize, and we'll see that play out. You added a Hall of Fame four now. Now Anthony Davis can go back to the four. He's going to average 25 and 10. I mean that's a big.
And Kyrie steps into that leadership role.
Correct. Now you get the pick and rolls, pick and pops, opens up and spreads out the court just a little bit more. And
Yeah,
then when it comes down to size, when you're in the Western Conference, you guys are going to have it. So and you got defense. So you just stepped up in defense where you done lost one of the worst defenders, 101 defenders in the NBA, and that's Luca. Luca ain't defending me. You feel me? He's not defending me. I can get at least a bucket.
yeah. You might get one.
Hey,
You might get one bucket. Might get one bucket on Luca. Now he's cooking you.
oh, he's definitely gonna cook me.
He's cooking you
And it's gonna be easy money. I might
for
trip him.
sure.
I might pull a goon. I might trip this bone. Nah.